to put your baby daddy on child support? Yep, he be having another bitch around my kid. He be calling me a bitch every day. Do he do for the child? Yeah, but he be calling me a bitch every day. Disrespect on me. All right, hey bro, how much money you be paying a month for the baby? Bro, I don't even know, like a whole lot. Like I pay for the daycare, I pay for clothes, shoes, all kind of shit, bro, food, all kind of shit. If he do all that, why do you want to put him? He got another girl and he called me a bitch every day. Okay, but that don't, like I'm a single mama and I do it alone. He literally pay for everything. But if a man can't talk to me the right way, he can't be around my baby. No, that ain't how it works. Bitch dumb. Bitch dumb, bro. I told you the bitch dumb. He just called me a bitch in court. He can't see my baby. Ma'am, I'm not putting him on child support if he helped with everything. Bro, what the fuck wrong with this bitch? Bitch dumb. Told you the bitch dumb. I'm not dumb. He just got up. He just be calling. All right. Get out the courtroom. You with the bullshit. Bro, keep doing for the baby. Anything change, I'm gonna put you on child support. But until then, you good, bro. Okay, tell her I'm good. Ma'am, he good. No child support. Oh my God, I'm a single mom. I do this shit alone. Oh my God, bitch, get out.
What's up? I'm El from Acapella.
It's your boy Cutter.
Your girl Danelle Wright.
OG2 in the building. And of course, the infamous K Fred.
And together we form Voltron.
Play my motherfucking theme music.
What the hell is going on? You got 5-0 knocking at my door, 6 in the morning. I think you better let it go. I told you once before that we ain't crushing no more. I reminisce on how I used to trick. Spent all my money for that rollie on your wrist. But now it's not the same cause you're caught up in the game.
All right, thank you for joining us for another episode of Concrete Reality TV, where we strive to learn more, know more, and do more with what we know. We're back in here. We got the fellas on this main topic, which is fathers in the child support system. Last time we left off with Milton was when he had gotten back with his girl. They tried to work it out, and then it had gotten to the point where you guys had gotten into it. You called the cops. I think you had ended up stopping right there after that situation got heated.
What pretty much occurred after that date, I pretty much, for the condo that I was still paying for, I pretty much, everything I purchased my son, I packed it up because she stated she didn't have anything for him. I rented a moving truck and I moved everything I bought him and anything that I had got her back to that condo. And I went and bought everything brand new, basically, and replaced everything out of my pocket just so that he can have everything he needed at both places. From that point on, we started rotating him every other day. We rotated him. The drop-off point was daycare. And then we rotated him every other weekend. So every other weekend, whoever weekend it was when they picked him up from daycare on that Friday, he would stay with that particular parent. We did that for about 6 months. And she just basically called me one day and told me I couldn't see him anymore.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, did she give you any warning with her actions of her trying to pull away your son?
Well, she would create little small arguments and say like, well, his shoes getting too small. You just need to go buy him some shoes. I'll go check his shoes. And he got plenty of room still left. And, why did you put those clothes on him? I mean, it was just always stuff to try to start. Yeah, just,
nitpicking at you in the middle.
Yeah. Wanted to, kind of, start an argument. If a mosquito bit it, you're not watching him. He comes back with red marks on him. It's just like, come on.
Anything she could think of that would create some type of issue.
Yeah.
She tried to create us an animosity. So to not go too deep into the story, but we did that for, like I say, 6 months. And then when she kept doing all the nitpicky stuff throughout that time. And then she basically, the day I was going to go pick him up from daycare, she texted me at 5 and said he wasn't there. Okay, so where is he at? He said she told me he was sick. Okay, so why did you take him to the doctor? She said no. Okay, so he been sick all day. My turn to go get him, but you didn't call and tell me.
Wow.
All right, so day 2 came. I'm thinking, okay, he can stay with her today. I just make up my day, the next day. Day 2 come, I go get ready to go get him. She say she took him to the doctor. The doctor took him out of school, and she texted me this like 3:00 in the afternoon. Still,
right before you getting ready to go get him.
Right. Again, I still didn't get upset. Okay, fine. What did the doctor say? She was kind of short, but fine. She said he was okay. I let it go. I just give him tomorrow. Day 3 comes. I gets around 4:30. She sends me a text and says that he's not at school. I said, why isn't he at school? Well, he is at school, but you can't go get him.
What?
What you mean I can't go get him? And then she was like, I just don't think this is good for him, and you can't go get him anymore. I'm like, well, first of all, I pay everything, so how can you go tell me what I'm gonna go do? You don't pay.
Right.
They care. And so we went back and forth, and I just told her, at this point, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
I get him on the weekend. I mean, it gets to a point where, you got to know when you just got to start arguing with the person.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably kept him from me about maybe 2-3 weeks. And then she had something come up that she needed to do. So then she had to call him because she had nobody to watch my son. And so it had to be around Halloween. And so she had gave him to me, so I had him that particular week. I forgot whatever she had going on. I invited her to go trick-or-treating with her because, again, it's about our son, not about, me and her.
Individual, yeah.
Right. It's about his son. So we get out there. While we're out there trick-or-treating, I'm treating her with respect. Hey, how you doing? Such and such. Even though I hate to even be in the presence. You gotta put the big boy drawers on sometimes. So for him, so I went through and we went through trick-or-treat. And at the time I was feeding him, she basically said, well, I put you on child support.
Damn.
And she thought she was going to get an angry response from me. And thought I was going to start calling her bees and everything else. I just looked over at her and just said, okay.
So did you kind of see it coming? You could smell it?
Well, the thing is, again, like I said, I fought myself because at the end of the day, I got to take responsibility for my actions. I know she wasn't married material from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And I already kind of knew she would do questionable things. Now, I never would have thought she would have took it to the extent she did. I thought I knew a little bit better than what I thought that she would do. Evidently, clearly I didn't. So after that, I took him home that week, that Monday back to school. Pretty much I didn't see him again. Probably about 4 or 5 months.
Dang.
She just kept him from me. And so every month that go by, she just basically told me I couldn't see my son until I put myself on child support.
Wow.
And so I got served finally. And then
how long did it take for you to get served?
It probably took them 2 months. And she wanted the money faster because, I told her basically I'm not going to pay another red cent if I'm not seeing my son every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not giving you nothing, and I'm not paying daycare. And matter of fact, you can return my vehicles and everything else because this is not our agreement. You don't just get to make an agreement. We make an agreement. You don't just get to change it just because you want more now. And it wasn't nothing about my son. It was about because
that money.
Right. Well, it wasn't even about the money. It was because she couldn't control me, and I didn't want to be with her. Mm-hmm. And so she was jealous of my and his relationship because the only person I would do stuff for at that point was only him. Right. And so she was jealous when me and him were going out, or, I would go and we'll go buy new polo outfits or whatever I'm doing. I mean, this is me and my son. I ain't got no kids. I can spoil my child.
Exactly.
Right.
He's mad at me. We're blessing him, But anyway, that's kind of some of the things that went on. So when I finally got served, I called him. And I asked them, I started asking questions like, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. And basically they were like, well, what do you mean doesn't mean? I said, well, I'm validating I received this. I said, but I'm going to go through legitimation in custody. I said, so do I even need to talk to you guys at all? Or, I asked questions even before I even talked to my attorney. Mm-hmm. And long story short is that she was trying to expedite the process because she was telling those people that she essentially wasn't working and she couldn't take care of them and that they needed to hurry and put me on child support so that she could take care of him. And so I went on down and took the paperwork to my attorney. I went back, told him I was ready to go so I could file for legitimation in custody, and I wanted joint physical and legal custody of the child. And my attorney basically said it's going to be a fight, but, he think that based off of all the information I provide him, that I had a good shot. So, again, as it said allude to, the retainer fees are high. So, I dropped 10, to get the process started. Well, during that process, I had him respond to the state, basically letting them know that, I wanted to take this situation private, and, and take it to Superior Court because, I wanted visitation, and that we did not want to go through child support and go ahead and allow them to decide what I got to pay in child support without getting visitation at the same time. So just for all the guys out there, never go through child support, because if you go through child support, it's hard to get overturned once the states make a decision on your case. Once they make a decision, it's hard to get stuff lowered or altered when you take it private.
I'm dealing with that right now.
Right. So you always want to try to do it private before the state gets involved. Because again, once they make a decision, it's very difficult. And plus, the woman is now getting the money. And so when she's already getting the money at that point, it's hard to have any negotiation power, because at that point she's getting what she wanted, what's the money. And you still have no negotiation, so that you don't allow them to put you in that situation. So you have to go out of it prior to the state. So with that being said, I got served. She served me at work, which was very embarrassing. Just to know, again, if you know what I do for a living, you definitely don't want to be served at work.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So I ended up, when I got everything together, my attorney, I was trying to get everything served before my court date for her court date was set up for me with the state. Well, what ended up happening was she would never, so she lived in a gated community. So every time my particular attorney was trying to serve her, she would never come outside and take the serve. So she act like she could never get the paperwork. And if you don't get them served, then your court case can't start. So just each state, everybody understand they have to be served before anything can take place. And so my attorney tried to serve her for months.
Exactly how many months did he try to serve her? 2. If you don't mind me asking. 2 months.
Actually, 2 months. So guys, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I went and actually took 2 days off of work. I went and stayed at her gate until I saw her car. And I had the guy stay with me, call and tell her where she was at. And so he could serve her when she returned, before she got through the gate. That's when I served her.
So you had to take off work in order for her to get served.
Yep. I took 2 days off work just to make sure. Well, I didn't take the second full day because I caught up on that morning. Because I
coming out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. And I made him serve right then and there. And that's how I got her served. And so once
what was her reaction
when she got the piece of paper?
Yeah, like did she see you? Be like, hey, there she go right there. Like,
nah, she didn't know she didn't even know I was there. I rented a rental car.
Oh, so you had to go
the expenses that we have to spend. Yes.
Excess money to get her served.
Right. Because basically my attorney said that he was starting to have to charge me extra because it kept going back and forth. And every time he go over there, she couldn't, she didn't work. But it was not like he could go to a job, and we knew her resident, and she tried to act like she didn't live there anymore.
Yeah. That happened to me after like the second or third time of trying to serve them. It's like, we got to charge you like $50, $75 each time the person go out there after the second or third time. Like they only give you like 2 courtesies, and that's even with the sheriff's department. Because I had to pay extra money to get her served out of states. So
wow.
It's crazy. And again, everything that you're doing with this process costs money. Ain't nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're going through that process, and I'm meeting with my attorney. We're going through all the documentation and so forth. And but before I could get to my legitimation case, I still had to deal with the case that she filed me with the state. So I get to the state. Before I actually get to that state, because it wasn't going fast enough, just for everybody's knowledge, women can file child abandonment on you. So I know a lot of guys don't know what I'm talking about, but basically child abandonment can be considered a federal offense. The second time it happens, basically what occurs is that it's a criminal charge against the gentleman. So this is nothing about the child anymore. Now these are criminal offenses that a woman can go bring against you to say that you're failing to take care of your child. And so that speeds up the process. So if women, if they're really trying to be crooked, what they'll go and do, and they can go file this on you every 30 days. You could be married.
So let me get this right. On top of her filing child support,
She filed child abandonment.
And I'm not saying she did, but she could also file child abandonment on you and as a criminal charge.
Yes, sir.
So they can come pick you up for both.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Now she had to pay was $25. Yep. As they go down and that's all they have to pay. And I'm talking about you can live with this woman and your wife can go file child abandonment on you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real. So that my particular case came up. So my child support case was some months off still. And because I already had served her, my legitimation case was on file at that point. But when she filed child abandonment on me, that turns in like 30 to 60 days. So when they file, you come into court. And it tells you on that piece of paper, if you fail to show up, they're going to issue a bench warrant for your arrest. It's like that. Like, how can you issue me a bench warrant when you don't even know if this is true? But they telling you, if you don't show up, they coming to get you.
So, okay. So what did you do at this point? After you served her, she served and everything. What happens after that? What's going on?
Well, you go back to your attorney, tell you they served her, and then you start working on your case, which you got to provide data to support your claim. You go through on the Q&A and so forth. But before I could even get with the legitimation piece of it, I had to deal with the child abandonment.
So she did file the child abandonment on you.
She filed child abandonment on me. So she filed for child support on me, and she filed for child abandonment on me with the state.
Wow.
So I had to deal with.
So your attorney had to deal with both of these cases at the same time.
Plus, I had my own legitimation case that I was going after to make it private.
So you're fighting a total of 3 cases at this point.
Yes, sir.
3 separate cases. I know this is not cheap. This is not cheap.
So you can imagine the amount of money you're forking out now, because you can't go show up. If either case, if I lose, it's going to be detrimental to the next case. Right. So, I go ahead and pay the additional money. So now I'm spending another additional, I think it was another additional $2,500 that I had to come out of pocket just for that guy to come and take that criminal. Because again, this is criminal case with the child abandonment. So this takes type of attorney. So I had to have another attorney that worked for his firm. I had to go pay them to go take my criminal case to go deal with my child abandonment issue. And so that court case came up, and if you've never been through it, basically what occurs is they call all the custodial parents who have the child. They sit on one side, and the non-custodial parents have to sit on the other side of the court. And they separate you like that. It's embarrassing as hell. They're talking about all your private issues in front of
everybody.
Everybody. I'm talking about everybody. You got guys that's in there who couldn't pay $25 a month. I mean, it's crazy some of the stuff that, you're hearing these people talk about. But anyway, my day come up and I have my attorney go up and again, the women are actually represented by the assistant AD. So most people don't even realize that they pay $25 and then the assistant attorney of the state represents them for free. Wow. If I don't go and I don't get anybody to represent me, I go in, I'm trying to fight with the assistant AD by myself, which is you crucify yourself. You're not going to win. And so you had all those guys who came in there with no attorneys and they basically were just handing it to them left and right. Some of the guys, it was their second charge and they go to jail that same day. It's real. So you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I get up, my court case is the second one because I had an attorney. So what they did allow was, because they know when you got an attorney, you're paying for every hour that attorney is in that courtroom, even for the parking ticket. So they allowed the people with attorneys to go first. So
that was nice because they usually don't care about that.
Right. Yeah, but they typically didn't, but they did it during my court case. Can't speak for everybody else. But when I got up there, the attorney who knows nothing about me, never had a conversation with me prior to this case, knows nothing but what she said. And this young lady got up there and basically said that I had never done anything for my son. I'm a deadbeat dad. I'm a controlling. I mean, like, there was slander in my name. I mean, like, I mean, if you could have seen the rage that was going on behind the glossy eyes when I was listening to some of the things they were saying about me, it was just like, I can't believe it.
Wow.
And basically said that trying to control her with my money, and I didn't want to take care of my son and never did anything for my son. And basically, they needed me before I left court to take care of my son and start paying some money today because she has no job, and I know she has no job. And then I'm not going to do anything for my son. And not one time she said that she took him from me. Not one time said we shared him. Not one time she said I did anything, guys. She basically said my son probably about 15 months then. And out of those 15 months, I had never done anything for him, period. Not nothing. And basically they wanted back child support because I said, because I make good money. And because I should be ashamed of myself for basically not taking care of my son when I couldn't afford it.
Wow.
Yeah. The good thing about Georgia is that it's not a rotriatric state, so they can't enforce back child support.
That retro, going backwards like that. Otherwise, you really could have got railroaded.
Right. And so basically, once she got up and said her spiel, my attorney stood up and basically said, Judge, everything that the AD just stated is basically untrue. And plus, this court case needs to be thrown out because my client has made this a private court case. We've already filed for legitimation and custody. So everything is with the state should be null and void at this point. And so the AD basically said, well, no, we need some basically money now. He's only trying to do any of this just because he's just trying not to pay the young lady any money. So my attorney said again, you're violating the law if you continue this court case when my client has already filed for legitimation and custody. So the judge said, okay. She stopped my attorney and she stopped AD and she said, well, I can go in the system, I can check. So if you guys don't know, the judge has access to anything at their computer screens, that anything that had been filed with any of your court cases by, you pulling up your social security number. Well, that particular judge pulled up my court case. And so and again, what I'm telling you guys, everything I'm sharing is being shared out loud in front of everybody else. It's not like this private, like everybody's hearing everything that you're saying, with the judge saying, your attorney saying, everything. So the judge go back and say, well, Mr. Ross has already filed for legitimation and custody, so his attorney is telling the truth. And then she also stated that the process has gone to the point where documentation has been complete. So you fill out this questionnaire when you start the process, when you file for legitimation and custody, and it basically lists different things that you say you've done for the child. And then the custodial parent has to go and then answer those questions to what you alluded to on that documentation. And so I had already sent my form in, and she had already had, because she already had to respond within 30 days of her claim. So she had already sent her paperwork back. So when the judge pulled up the form, she said, well, I see the Q&A, and the judge read the Q&A out loud. So basically she started with the first, she said, Mr. Ross stated that, since November 2017, he's giving Ms. Green $12,000 to $15,000 every month for the alleged child.
You mean 1,200?
Yep.
Okay, you said 12,000, 1,200, 12 to 1,500.
1,200 a month.
Yeah, 1,200 to 1,500. I'm sorry.
I ain't know you had it like that.
Exactly.
I know you
say, wait a minute.
Leave, but you got that lead check, boy.
Changes everything.
I ain't get the check like that. I do all right, but I ain't looking at the check like that. But when the judge read that first one out, she had to respond to that. And the client said, yes, that he's been giving me that money since November of that year. So that was a big red flag. Now, they just came to court and just told everybody I had done nothing. The second one was that I said that I provide transportation and insurance from November of 2017. And I think this was this sometime in 2018 that time. And the client stated, yes. I stated that for the past 6 months, we've rotated him every other day, and we basically shared joint custody of the child. And she said, well, no, he's been keeping him. Well, if he's been with me just as much as he's been with you, we've been sharing custody of the child. And so at that point, when she had went through more, the judge just stopped and said, I'm not going to read anymore. And the courtroom went crazy. And they were like, this man's sitting in here going through basically a criminal case when this man has basically taken care of the child completely. And they repeated that, the client, she hadn't been working. And so everybody was like, this man pretty much took care of the child the entire time, and he in here fighting a criminal case as if he done nothing. And
wow.
So, that's tough.
Crazy.
And there was no repercussion. So After she stopped and she said, well, and then she asked me, because at this point I ain't had an opportunity to say nothing. I just been getting beat up the whole entire time. So then the judge asked me, did I have anything to say? And I just basically told the judge, I said, this system is just very unfair. I said, I'm here fighting to see my child, and all the things I've done and the sacrifices I've made to ensure that my son had everything he needed. And I said, and the person can come in here and pay $25 and just come in front of all these people and just state live. And I said, there's no repercussions. I said, I don't know how how that can be right. They up here stating that I'm an unfit father. I said, these are more days that now I'm having to deal with when I'm still spending additional money and I'm still not getting to see my son. All the judge could say is, I apologize, and that, you started the right process. That's all she could say to me. And even the AD never even apologized. Nobody never said anything from the state. Nobody said anything. All those
I would have said something. I would have been like, and I demand an apology right now from you. I'd have said that.
Hey, it's real, man. So, the judge, and even after I proved all those other things and the judge stated it, the AD still came back and said that, well, we still need to get some type of child support established today.
Oh, wow.
Even after all that stuff. And so the judge came back and said, clearly this man wants to be in his child's life, and that he's been doing the things necessary to make sure that child has been taken care of. She basically threw out my child abandonment case. She had 3 cases open, but the judge went through all the docket and basically granted me immunity to all of them. She ended it and actually gave me the documentation before I left court. She said, I don't have no issues with the state. And she basically gave me the documentation showing that she closed out all 3 court cases.
Dang.
Yeah, that was a small win for me, but I still didn't get to see my child. I could stop and let Sid go and tell you how his other case.
Oh, when he switched counties. So Sid, you ended up switching counties, and I'm sorry, my video stopped. I guess my CPU memory had gotten too high and it shut my video off, and it won't let me put it back on. So I can only do audio, unfortunately, at this time. So we'll start back with you with switching counties.
I guess to go back just a little bit. So at the end of the first case, when I dismissed it in around November. They had 45 days to file a, rebuttal or whatever. And they end up filing for me to pay for her attorney fees. And she incurred $30,000 in attorney fees.
Oof, Lord.
And that was there. I incurred almost double just there. You get what I'm saying? So she wanted me to pay her attorney fees. I went in there by myself, single-handedly. I filed every single motion that any man could file, and I beat her. And he dismissed the court case for me having to pay any type of attorney fees. And that's because I filed a lot of motions about how the judge was being racist and how he didn't, do due process and a whole bunch of other stuff. So at that point, he had no choice but to let it go, because if he would have granted that, I would have took it to the superior court. And at that point, if I took it to the superior court, then everybody would have got messed up. You know what I'm saying? So, after that, that's when I reached out to mom, tried to work it out. And then after that, she said what she said.
I just told her, I don't want to be with you anymore. And at that point, her mouth dropped. And she said, if you don't want to be with me, then you don't want to be with us.
I didn't see my daughter for 2 years. Boom. So after 2 years, I did my own little research, found out where she stay at. I already knew where she worked at. And I hired me an attorney, 15 bands for a retainer this time.
Dang.
Because they looked at all the records from Cobb County and saw that it was going to be pretty much a shit show. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, hey, we going to need 15 up front. You know what I mean? I mean, no disrespect. You know what I mean? But this is going to be a tough situation. So I rocked out with that lawyer for about a month or two, about 2 months. And then I had to let her go because I didn't like the angle that she was taking things. So long story short, I'm staying out in the mountains. Mom finally moves out of Cobb, the worst county in the world for a black man in the court system. So she moves to Atlanta. Cool. I'm good in the A. So with that being said, I hired the first attorney that was 15 bands. She did what she did. Actually, they still owe me about $3,000 or $4,000, but with a retainer, as Milton can admit, they don't give you no money back.
Oh.
A retainer is not given back.
Dang.
It's for work that's done.
But they charge you for everything for it.
Right. But in the clause, it says that you do not get a retainer back. In the clause, I end up reading it. So that's why I've never been comfortable with paying large retainers. I'd rather pay the 5,000, and then pay you as work is needed. You just invoice me. You know what I'm saying? But that's how a lot of lawyers get over it. They'll charge you a high number and, hope in the event that you leave, they don't care because they're going to keep the rest of the money. So if you ever get an attorney and you read that retainer contract, you do not get your money back. So with that being said, I paid $15,000, stayed with her for maybe 2 months, said it's not working because she seemed to be listening to the mother's attorney more than she's listening to me when I have proof and documentation. So I let her go and I end up hiring the attorney that I still currently have now. So long story short, we went to court. It was during Corona last year, 2020. And we was doing everything through Zoom. While we doing everything through Zoom, first court case, like I said, I got her served at her house. She got served. After she got served, we finally went to court maybe about a month later. And they end up granting me, temporary order visitation. I had to pay for a guardian ad litem also, which a GAL, guardian ad litem, what they do is they are technically considered the baby's attorney. So they are looking out for the best of the child. They don't care about you. So I had my attorney, she had her attorney, and then we both had to go in. Actually, I had to pay 75%, and she paid 25%, which didn't make sense either. But we had to pay for our child to have her own attorney.
Dang.
Yes. And with that being said...
Wait. Y'all had to pay for your child to have her own attorney?
Pretty much. That's pretty much in a nutshell. That's what it is. The guardian ad litem looks out for the child best interest. What they do is they do backgrounds on both parents, criminal, civil. They come to your house. They want to talk to about 5 or 10 witnesses, which if I'm not mistaken, Milton, didn't he talk to you and Ephraim?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he did. Definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
So he wants to talk to witnesses. He want to talk to everybody who you associated with that know of you and the mom. He want to see what's really going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I had to pay somebody to dig into my life and talk to my friends.
Was that through the judge or magistrate rather to dictate that?
So I had the same thing in Cobb County, but in Cobb County it was suggested. In Atlanta, that's usually inputted in the event of you having a situation like mine, or if Milton would have kept going and the situation was different for Milton, he would have eventually probably had to get a GAL because mom was acting crazy and he was just trying to get what's due to him, which is fair. So they would have ended up getting the guardian ad litem if he would have kept going. And the guardian ad litem that I had in Cobb County was ridiculous. I did my own research on her. She was a sexist. She was only for women also. And when I did my research, she screwed her husband over and took both kids and bankrupted him and he killed himself. But that's a whole nother conversation. So with that being said, in Atlanta, that happened, got a guardian ad litem. And the guardian ad litem, he felt as though I was humble, I was good, I was cool. He felt as though I was a good father figure. I provided all 2.5 years worth of text messages proving that I've been trying to contact her and showing that, she did all of this on purpose. And with that being said, that's kind of why I got the deal that I got now. But during that process, it was just hell. I mean, it was hell. It was very emotional. I saw my daughter the first day. I want to say I saw her maybe in April for the first time in 2 years. And she ran up to me saying, "Daddy, Daddy," and it was so emotional. Like where I picked her up from, I had to stay there for about 25 minutes, just holding her. Like I didn't even want to leave because I didn't want to get on the road with tears out of my, like crying out of my eyes, and I ended up getting into an accident. Like it was just very emotional.
Wow.
And I mean, for 2.5 years, no text message, no picture of my daughter. You blocked me. You blocked my family. You blocked anybody who you know that knows me. It was like she was like Jay-Z and Beyonce, like Mariah Carey when she first had her kids. You never saw a picture of them. I didn't see a picture of my daughter for 2 years.
Man.
Luckily, my sister followed her and she didn't know her nickname. So she would send me pictures of my daughter to my phone whenever she would post it. So when I say I went through it, I really, really went through it. So when I got the new lawyer, their retainer, I think, was like $7,500. I paid that. And we went with it. I had, a temporary order. I think I was seeing my daughter a couple of days a week. At that time, I was working at that time. I had got a job for, child support reasons. And I went from there. And it finally closed out in September. They wrote the parenting plan. When I say they, I mean her attorney and her wrote the parenting plan. They gave it to me. I didn't change anything in the parenting plan outside of how many days I get to get my daughter, because they were only trying to give me my daughter the standard every other weekend and 1 day during the week. I wasn't going for that. So I told my attorney and I told the guardian ad litem that I need pretty much 50-50 custody. So now I get my daughter 3 days 1 week, 5 days the next week, 3 days 1 week, 5 days the next week. So we pretty much split in 30 days. And the only reason she's considered primary is because she gets 1 day more than me in the event that it's 31 days. That's it. So with that being said, that was the only thing that I changed out of the order. And mom has not followed that order at all. At all. To where now I just had to pay $12,500 to my attorneys a couple of months ago, outside of me already having to pay them throughout the whole court case. I just had to pay them again because I'm filing a modification case to get primary custody, and I'm filing a contempt of order, which equaled me missing about 30 days. And it hasn't even been a year yet since I've had custody of my daughter, because mom refuses to follow the order that her and her attorney wrote.
So my question, to be clear, each time that you guys go to court, you have to pay your attorneys, correct?
Unless you still have money left
on your retainer
in their trust for you, yes.
So anytime that the judge sets or appoints a allotted time for you to spend with your daughter, your child, that if the mother does not abide by these terms that the judge allowed, do they hold her accountable in any way?
They're supposed to. That's why they don't hold them. You have to hold them. You have to file what's called a contempt of order to take it to the judge, so you can hope that the judge does hold them in some type of accountability, which is what I'm hoping for. Prime example.
So let me back up. You said a powerful word. You said they hope. You hope the judge. So that on your end, if you don't pay your child support, does the child's mother hope they come pick you up?
No, they don't. They I mean, that's never happened, but it's happened to people that I know. And you usually go to jail if you don't pay it within a certain time, or you get your license suspended and it's a bench warrant out for you. And that's not a hope. That's the law. That's what they're going to do.
Okay,
that's the standard.
So the other way, that's my whole point of the question is the other way around. If she's not abiding by her agreed or her order, court order, visitation rights, she has no consequences.
Not to my knowledge. I don't believe she would, because if she would have, she would have been in jail or she would have been arrested, which is, I have two specific situations where she should have been arrested, and I have the police reports and the body cams to prove why she should have been in jail, and she did not go to jail at all.
Girl, you got me up in court now, trying to get all of my dough. Better flip what